Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Today we're outside the brook, and fun fact, I've been posting on Instagram pretty much every single day, and I posted a story about if you're around the area, want to start a 2-5 or 5-10 game, posting every single session that I play. So if you want to be updated and catch these punts, follow me on Instagram there. I'm posting there daily. So yeah, if you want to be on live updates, because I know these vlogs are a little bit backlogged, about a few weeks to a month behind. So yeah, if you want to be up to date on what I'm up to or get a chance to catch some of my punts, follow me on Instagram there. But we're going to play the 2-5. If a 5-10 pops up, we're going to play that as well here. I'm trying to find, some decent action, or at least we're going to bring the action. Anyways, we're going to get in there, catch some cards, and see how it goes. So wish us luck. We hop into the 2-5 game, and first hand in with ace-king offsuit on the button. There's an early position player who's playing pretty loose. He limps in, and I put in a raise to $30, a little bit larger. We get the small blind and early position player to make the call, so 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes 10, 6, 9, 2 clubs, and a spade. Action checks to me, and on this board, obviously ace-king high. Got nothing for us. We decide to check back. Seeing a free turn comes the king of spades, which is always a good sign to see. The early position player who limped out throws out a bet of $70. Pretty large bet given there's a $90 in the pot, and I think I can go either way with raising or calling in this spot. Here in this instance, I decided to just make the call on a pretty draw-heavy board, and with one pair not being amazing, top isn't too strong considering that there's a lot going on and there's a lot that beat us. So small blind folds, and we're going heads up to a river, which is the 7 of diamonds. Pretty gross, although the 2 flush draws did break out. There is a 4-liner on the board, and here he continues and bets out 115. The main reason for calling on the turn is so I can fold on pretty bad river cards, and considering that this is one of those bad river cards, I think with one pair a little ambitious to bluff catch early on in the session, so I just let this one go and move on into the next hand. In the next hand, we try to pick up a better spot with ace-4 of diamonds in the small blind. The cutoff player, same guy from last hand, he just limps, and here we're out of position. Definitely want to play more pots against him. I raise to 30, big blind folds, cutoff calls, and we're going to a flop. The flop comes 6, 3, 3, 2 clubs, and a heart, and on these paired boards, definitely going to be just betting pretty small here. So I sized to $15. He thinks for not too long before making the call. We're off to a turn, which is the 7 of diamonds. Not really a great card for us, but it does give us some outs with a gutter ball. So just trying to bet once again, I sized to $45. And once again, he calls pretty quickly. Let's try to improve on the river. The river is the 5, so we actually found a way to luck box this one and hit the gutter ball. So trying to size up, I can see him calling with just all sorts of hands given the line so far. He can always have a 3, so I throw out a bet of $150, thinking that he can call pretty light with even a 3 or a 6 or whatever. He ends up thinking for a while, but sadly this time he makes the correct fold. So probably bet a little too large, maybe a little too greedy, but still always nice to go runner straight. Next, picking up ace-10 offsuit on the button. There's an undergun open to 20, +1 makes the call. Here, obviously, just going to be coming along and making the call as well, so we're going to a flop 3 ways. Flop comes 10, 7, 6, 2 spades with top, and the ace of spades. Definitely a good flop for us, and when the undergun player checks, +1 throws out a bet of $35. Can raise sometimes, but don't really want to overplay my hand just yet. I decide to just make the call for 35, and the undergun player comes along. The turn is now a 7. All things considered, it seems like a pretty good card as it does eliminate some combinations of 2 pair. +1 still continues for a bet of $75. Here, obviously, we're just not going to be folding top just yet. I make the call for 75, and now the undergun player releases his cards and makes the fold. So we're going heads up. The river is the queen of spades. It's really not an amazing card given that the over got there, but we shouldn't be too scared of too many flush draws given we do hold the ace of spades. Now on this river, he checks, so we're feeling pretty good about our hand right now. Time to try to target hands like Jack 10, King 10, or maybe even 10-9. I throw out a relatively small sizing to $85, just trying to price him in for all 10x or 1 pair holdings. And at the end of the day, he thinks and makes the call for 85. It's a good price enough for him to call. We show our hand thinking that our hand might be best, and he ends up folding. So take this pot down, nice to extract a little bit of value on the river. fourth interesting hand of note so far in the session, picking up king queen off in the cutoff with an under the gun straddle, so playing 2-5-10. There's a low jack and hijack limp to $10. Definitely going to put in the raise, so I size up to 60. We get the under the gun player, who is pretty wild, pretty loose, and the player that we've been involved with the first 2 times, he 3-bets to 110. Folds to me, this is literally a min click, the smallest 3-betting sizing he could have chosen, $50 over my raise, and this player has $400 to start the hand, so obviously for 50 more, I'm just not going to be folding ever here. We make the call for 50, let's go to a flop. The flop comes queen 9-4, and with top pair, we're just never going anywhere now, and especially when he throws out a continuation bet of $85, definitely not going to be raising, given he did 3-bet pre-flop. Not really sure what he could be 3-betting with, but obviously we're making the call. The turn is a 5, a card that really doesn't change too much, and I think he throws out a bet of $125. To be very honest, an inside scoop, I was actually trying to film a TikTok during this hand, so some of the bet sizing and notes may be wrong, but this player only has like $150 more behind his 125, so given he did commit a large percentage of his stack in there already, easy decision to rip it all in with top pair, good kicker, and after I rip it all in, he does slide in chips for a call. We're off to a river, heads up, the river is a deuce. I announced that I have king queen. I can't flip my cards over just yet because I'm filming with both of my phones in my hands. And he ends up showing pocket jacks. So we end up scooping this one. Looks like he was married to his pocket jiggities, as some would call it. And we scooped this one. Always nice to take it down. It's been action-packed so far. We're only 1 hour into the session, and this next hand, ace-king offsuit in the small blind. There are 2 limpers to the button player, who puts in a raise to $25. This player has less than $200 in his stack, and we're definitely just trying to isolate and get it all in against him, ideally. I put in a 3-bet and raise it up to $100 out of position. Action does end up folding back to the button, who decides to rip it all in for $176 total. Obviously, we are in there. Let's make the call. Let's go to a run out.
Further action. We're outside of the game, man. 6th Street. And if you don't know what your hand is, you don't get paid. It's called, we're going to call it video.
They did the same thing when I had the straight flush.
The run out comes, and we end up with top 2 pairs, so pretty confident we have the best hand. I just show first, considering that we're probably winning a large percentage of the time. And this player looks at his cards, ends up throwing him into the muck, and it looked like he had a king, so we'll take this one down. And like I said, it's only been 1 hour in, and things are going pretty smoothly so far. Next hand we go to, we pick up ace-king once again, this time playing 6-handed, and we're in the hijack. The under the gun player open limps, and definitely going to put in a raise here. I size to $25. And I guess I never got the memo. Once again, this hand is going to be a bomb pot because everyone at the table calls. So we've got Action City going on today. 6 ways to a flop, which comes king, queen, jack, 2 spades. What a ridiculous flop to see 6 ways. And when Action checks to me, even though we have top and we have the ace of spades, I don't think I'm going to be betting here into 5 other players with just 1 pair. So I decided to check this one, considering there's a lot of holdings that beat us. Action onto the cutoff player, who throws out a bet of $75. And upon this bet, the button immediately puts in a raise to $175. Action folds to me, and well, the cutoff player has about $600 in his stack. The button has about $800. We cover both, and there's maybe some chance that we can call this one and go for runner spades or something like that, but that's ambitious, obviously. So we decided to just let this one go with top, given the action. We weren't really too happy with our holding anyways, and considering we're up against 5 other players, 1 pair can't be good. I fold. The cutoff ends up ripping it all in for $600 total, and the button snap calls, and it's always nice to sweat a run out not being a part of it.
Spit out the phone.
Good luck, guys. Good for you.
The run out comes, and the button actually ends up winning with ace-10 of clubs flopping Broadway. They hold. We never end up actually seeing what the cutoff had, but ace-king goes down in flames. This next hand isn't as action-packed, but I guarantee you it's just as fun with pocket 10s and +1. I raise things up to $20. We get the player to my immediate left to 3-bet me to $65. Onto the big blind, who decides to make the call for $65 total, and well, I'm definitely not folding here, obviously, with pocket 10s. $65 to go. We make the call for 45 more. Let's go to a flop. The flop comes queen, 3, 4, rainbow, and given there's 3 players here, 1 card over our pair isn't amazing, but when the big blind checks, I go ahead and check as well, and onto the player to my left, who 3 bets, he decides to check it back. Going to our turn, which comes the 5 of spades, brings in 2 spades out there, and now the big blind throws out a bet of $75. I don't really think that I'm in a position to fold here, given the action on the flop. There's a few draws that come into play now, given the turn 5 of spades, and with essentially second pair, I think our hand's a little too strong to fold immediately, so make the call here for 75, and the player to my left ends up getting out of the way. Now we're off to a river, hoping to get the showdown cheaply, but when the river comes the 10 of clubs, we're hoping to see a bet from him, but sadly, he checks. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this player is going to be checking a queen, but if I'm going to throw out a bet here and make a big one, I'm pretty much just targeting all Queen X holdings. So I just go for it. I size up to $275 given not too many hands can call here given a check on the river. And he goes deep into the tank. About a minute or 2 goes by and ends up putting a chip for a call. We show our pocket tens, rivered sets, and he folds. So we scoop this one. Once again, the river coming in clutch for us here. Always nice to pull chips our way after luck boxing a river. It's been an action-packed session so far, and in this hand, we pick up ace-10 offsuit on the hijack. There's an on the gun and +1 player who limps. Limp happy tables against the wide rangers. I'm going to raise it up to $35. Action folds to the on the gun player. He makes the call. He's been action-packed as I've seen him call down 2 streets with Jack 3 high and a gutter balls. So with that in mind, let's go to a flop, which comes Ace Jack 3 rainbow. Well, you know Jack 3 just might be in range, but with top pair, I'm definitely going to put in a C bet this time to $35, hoping he doesn't have the good old Jack 3 for the second time in a row. Here, he just makes the call, so feeling pretty good about our hand. The turn is the Queen of Diamonds and brings in that backdoor flush draw. He checks for a second time and still definitely going to be continuing to bet for value. I size to 60, and once again, he ends up making the call. The river is a 9, and for a third time, he checks. And I think normally against most players, this is a pretty easy check back spot, given that our 1 pair isn't amazing with such a wet board. But I think we can still go for thin value against this player that can call with a whole lot of nothing. So I throw out a really small one, milking for value, $80 to go. Sadly, he doesn't oblige with a call this time. He ends up making the fold, but once again, still, things going pretty smoothly, going our way, winning some pots left and right. For the final notable hand of the session, picking up pocket 3s in the small blind. It's a cutoff player who limps, and I decided to just limp here in the small blind, but can't see a cheap flop as the big blind puts in a raise to 20. Cutoff makes the call, and I'm not going anywhere. I make the call as well. The flop comes 3, 5, 6, 2 diamonds. And on this flop, I definitely should have some leads here, but as played, I decided to just check and action checks around. The turn is not a great one. It's the 4 of spades. So 2 flushers out there, 4 liner on the board, and action checks back to the cutoff player who throws out a bet of $30. I can improve to some full houses, I guess, but with bottom sets, I'm just not going to fold just yet against the player who can play a wide range. I make the call. The big blind folds. The river is now the Jack of spades, so backdoor flush draw does end up getting there. Action goes check, check, and this player shows us the good old Queen Deuce offsuit. So we do lose against the bottom end of the straight here, but I don't know. These are the players we're playing against, and these are the ranges that we can't really put people on, but bottom set does go up in flames, not betting on the flop. So wrapping up the session right now, just cashed out. We played for a few hours, nothing crazy. We got moved from the must move to the main game, and we ended up like losing a lot of hands from that main game, so not a whole lot of action there. We just started, just not playing our A game, so I think we lost $100 or $200 in there. Wow, it's fucking cold. That's crazy. Anyways, final numbers. We were in the game for 1,100, played for about 3 hours, out of the game for 2210. So climbing back up on that uptick, and we clawed out of the minus 10K at least, though. We're in the red still in this challenge, obviously, but we're not deeper into the red making a little bit of progress back, a little up and down trajectory. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we just continue going upward and onward from here. If you made it this far, obviously smash that like button. It's always much appreciated. Help this channel grow, and we're road to 100K subscribers. So if you made it this far and you're not subscribed, what are you doing, man? I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, notification bell, get notified every time I upload. It's every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Consistency at its finest. But thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.